Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm sure you saw the title of this video, and we are doing some crafts for the car. So if you're interested in seeing the crafts that I make for the car, then keep watching. Okay, so I have this vinyl here. It is Oracle 631, which is their removable vinyl. And it is also matte black. So I am going to get this all cut out. Let me show you what we're doing first. Hold on. I've had these in my car for a year now. Actually, a year ago, I organized my car. I was watching YouTube video after YouTube video, trying to get some inspiration and ideas on how to organize my car because I couldn't take how things were all thrown into the console. And no matter how much I tried to organize it, it still wasn't as neat as I would have liked it to be. So I got these off of Amazon. Of course, I will link everything down below. So if you're looking for anything that I do in today's video, you can find it in the description box. So anyway, I labeled these last year. As you can see, this one says trash bags because we have like little garbage cans on every door. And this one says napkins. And I took the rest off of these. As you can see, they just have sticky notes on it because I didn't want to forget what was in which bag. But I didn't take these last two off because I was going to do them on camera. Basically, I'm just redoing the labels because I'm just kind of over the labels on these, and I like it. It looks nice, but I just wanted to look at something different. So basically, what I did with the rest of them, I just sat here and pulled it up. It was easy enough to get off, so that was good. And I'm just gonna get this one that says trash. Okay, I'm making myself out to be a liar here. um let's see if I can get it up with this. The other ones were pretty easy. All right, there we go. Okay, so I got the label off of the trash bag and the napkin pouch. So now I'm going to go ahead and weed these out. But first I got to cut them, and you'll see all the different labels that I've made for each bag once we have them all weeded out. While I weed these first few out, because I'm not going to have you guys sit here and watch me weed them all out, but I will say that it definitely made things so much easier in my car. I was so excited once this project was completed last year. Um, Being able to just grab, oh no, I lost my L. Oh no. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to be able to do this one because I'm going to have to cut that L out again. So I'm going to set this one off to the side. But what I was saying is that it really made things a lot easier in my car. When I'm, especially when you're driving, you just need to grab something. You don't, you don't have time to look for things. It's not always safe to be fishing through things. So to know that you can just put your hand on something because you can see its label really quickly, that helps. And of course, it helps because you know where in your car you've stored certain things. So it's really nice. Like when I need, let's see, what would I need while driving? Oh, napkins. If nothing else, while I'm driving, either I need a napkin. I actually put napkins in the back seat where my children are sitting so they can grab some themselves. But once in a while they run out of napkins and they're like, "May I have a napkin?" And I have to grab for it. So that's I would say, of all the things here, that's the only thing that I would probably grab for while actually in motion. But it sits right inside the console next to me. So, um, I'm not going on an expedition for anything while while driving. It's right there next to me. And I always actually keep the napkins on top, like right where I can just put my finger on it immediately. Um, so yeah, I am going to finish weeding these out, and then we'll come back to apply them. All right, you guys, I have finally finished even the ones that I that needed to be recut. I was able to, get them all recut and all done. So I have, let's see, try to get these in size order. Okay, so I have the floss sticks, hair accessories, my miscellaneous bag, the trash bags for the little teeny bags, the napkins, the feminine products, the wipes, the snacks for the kids, and even for myself. Sometimes my husband's not a huge snacker, so this is usually for the kids and I, and the road trip activities, and of course, the lotion. So we finally got all the bags labeled. Now I can put everything back into the bags and get my car organized again. All right. And speaking of road trip activities, give me a second. Okay, so for our next craft, it is not a Cricut craft, actually. It's really something really simple, but since we were doing um, this video for things for the car, I wanted to add this in here. These are road trip games, car games, whatever of course, this says road trip bingo, road trip bingo. I even found some word search, this Grey's Anatomy one, that's for me. The other ones like ice cream flavors, that's for the kids. We also have some what do they call Mad Libs. So basically, you add a noun in here, a plural noun, a verb. Here's one about pizza. So these, I just thought that they can go right into the road trip activity bag. And honestly, it doesn't have to be a long road trip. Maybe you're going to be in the car for about an hour, hour and a half, something. You just, going to visit somebody who lives a little further away, and you need some activities to keep, your kids busy. Maybe you want to get them off of devices. My kids are preteens, and sometimes they need to just get off of the device and do something different. Sometimes I tell them, look out the window, look to see what's around you. So these are other things that can keep them entertained in the car. Now, there was one thing that I did that I wanted to do with the bingo games, because as you know, when you play bingo, you usually put a chip on your spaces, but you can't do that in a car because obviously the chips are not going to hold still in a bumpy car. So what I was thinking to do is laminate the bingo games. So I got these lamination sheets off of Amazon, and of course, I will link them below. I'm not going to use dry erase markers because I actually looked that up before doing this, because once before I laminated something that I tried to use dry erase markers and it would not erase off the laminate sheet. So I looked it up and I found those aren't the type of markers you want to use for laminate sheet. So remember back in the day when you were in class and your teacher would put on the overhead projector and they would have like that clear film that they would put, and sometimes they would write on that clear film. Well, the markers are called I think they're called overhead or projector markers or something like that. You can find them in Walmart and you can find them on Amazon, all those things like that. So I definitely said, okay, at least I know what I'm buying now. So I'm going to go buy them so they will have them. I'm going to bring in my lamination machine. This was also from Amazon. I can't remember the price, but I'm pretty sure it was not that expensive. And then I'm just going to feed this through. All right, I have both sheets now laminated. If you have a lamination machine or you are able to laminate, maybe you don't mind reprinting, but I figured at least with the bingo games, instead of reprinting it over and over, we could use those markers to like put a little X through the box. And I actually made 3 of these. So I have 3 of these and 3 of these. So if my husband is driving, I can play with the kids, or if I'm driving, he can play with the kids. So we would take these and now store them in here. So this bag is the newest bag of our car pouches because we did not have a road trip activity bag before. And then it goes right in there. And this can like slide under the seat. And when we're ready for it, we can pull it right out. Let's move on to our next crafts. Okay, so I have a hoodie and a sweatshirt for my children. And I know you're probably saying, you said this was car edition. While I weed, let me explain. Okay, so I have his design and her design here. I'm going to start with his. So when I was planning for this video, I was talking to my husband about it, and he suggested that I make hoodies for the kids because they get cold in the car, and sometimes when we get to our destination, they're cold, especially if it's an indoor place. They are cold because of air conditioning, and sometimes they're just cold because they're cold. A lot of times they don't have a sweatshirt or a hoodie. I try to remind them to bring it when I remember, but I keep a hoodie in the car because, listen, your girl is always cold. Always, always, always. It doesn't matter the season. I'm cold. So, so I always have one, and sometimes they're like, "Mommy, can I hold your hoodie?" So I decided, husband, this was a great idea. And I would make them car hoodies. So that is what I'm doing here. Okay, this one I'm looking at my computer because there are some little pieces and I want to make sure I'm removing the right pieces. So yes, he came up with the idea and I really thought it was a great idea. This way they can leave them in the car. Of course, we can bring them inside when they need to be washed, but we know that they always have something in the car, especially if we go like to the movies, even at church, they're like freezing at times. So we will be prepared with these. Now, when making these designs, I did consult my children. I told them what my idea was, and they kind of gave their opinions. They asked me to switch certain things, and then they chose their colors. I had a feeling what color my daughter would want, but she said the pink that I chose was a little too dark for her. So we lightened up the pink, and I think I pulled out a small piece. But the best thing about iron-on vinyl, you can find the pieces usually. And I was able to find this little teeny weeny piece that goes right in here. So let me get it down. All right. So I had to piece his together because I used scrap vinyl for this. So it says football forever. That was his choice. My choice was the silhouette, and he was like, okay, can we add this to it? So this is what we added. All right, I'm gonna move his over to the side. Okay, so here's my daughter's. So this here is new vinyl. This is vinyl I've never used before. It's actually puff vinyl by it's the 405 brand, which is from Hobby Lobby. And this is my first time using their puff vinyl. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm hoping that it comes out really nice because she was super excited once I told her, when I showed her the vinyl, I said, well, the only light pink vinyl I have right now is the puff vinyl. She was like, yes, 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 I want the puff vinyl. So she was excited about it. So I'm just hoping that it all comes out really well. This vinyl is actually pretty thick. All right, let's just get this part out. And I actually felt the thickness when I was going to cut it. So I just used the smart iron-on setting for this, and it worked wonderfully. Hers just says smile with a smiley face on it. And in her words, this is preppy. All right, let's bring the hoodie and sweatshirt back in. Okay, I'm going to start with hers first because when I read the instructions, it says to put the heat press on 284. It also says to press for 10 seconds and apply heaviest pressure. So I am going to have to adjust my heat press. But since the other vinyl, I'm going to have my machine on 308. This is why I'm starting with her so we can have the temperature here and then raise it for his. This is the back of her sweatshirt. That is where we decided to apply her design. So I'm just gonna lint roll really quickly. I wash the sweatshirt and the hoodie before applying the design. Very rarely do I do that, but I did it this time only because when I saw the sweatshirt and the hoodie in the store, they seem kind of dusty. So I said, okay, that's fine. That's what the washing machine is for. So I washed it, but I let them hang dry. And that's what I usually do with shirts that I make with vinyl. And I'm just measuring to make sure I am centered. I'm going to shift it just a little bit. Okay, so this is good. I am going to take this over to my heat press. Okay, you guys, look, this came out really, really good. It has a lot of texture to it. Here, let's see. Can you see that texture? It looks really good. I love it. And I really think that she is gonna love this too. So this is hers. Let's get his in the camera. Okay, so I have his. I'm gonna lint roll it really quickly. I did pre-press his. I have to be honest, I totally forgot to pre-press hers, but it came out really good, so I'm happy about that. All right, let's get his down. I'm gonna look at my computer to make sure that I am placing everything where it should be. So let's see if we can get his where I can press it all at one time. I think if I remove most of the excess carrier sheet here, that I will be able to press his words all at one time. Let's see if we can do this. Yep, we can. Yep, I can do it. I'm not going to be able to press this at the same time, but I just want to put it all down so I can make sure it's in the right spot before I actually go and take it to the heat press. So let's see. I'm going to lift this up. You guys might not be able to see it for a moment, but I just want to be sure that it's in the right spot. I'm going to take this over to the heat press and then I'll remove the silhouette. All right, you guys, his came out really good as well. What I did was I pressed the letters for 4 seconds just to basically tack it down. And then I added in the football silhouette and I pressed it for 4 seconds. And the reason why I didn't do the entire 15 seconds for the second press with the silhouette on was because sometimes when you have this liner laying over vinyl, what happens is a piece of this tends to make like an indentation in the vinyl. And so I try to just do it for like a quick 3 to 4 seconds just to tack it down and then remove that liner and then press it completely for the 15 seconds to be sure that I don't have a dent in the vinyl that was already there. So that's how I did this 4, 4, and then 15 for the entire thing. So we have his hoodie, which I'll give it a better fold later, and her sweatshirt. They both came out really, really good. So let's move on to our last craft. Okay, so for our last craft, I can't actually put the blank on this table. Let me tell you why. So, a few years ago, actually 2 years ago, 2 years ago exactly in the summer, I made this very decal for my car. And it held up for a good amount of time, actually. It wasn't until this year that I noticed that one of the letters came off and the question mark came off of the car. So I kept procrastinating, obviously. So I was driving around with a missing letter and a missing quotation, question mark. So it just says, "Do you follow Jesus this close?" So the reason why I can't put our blank on this table because the blank is my car. I would say over the last 2 years, I have had people uh, like look at the car and and chuckle. I've had people say things to me about it. The one time I remember, I was in the post office waiting online uh, to mail a package, and a man came in the post office and said, "Whose car is out there with the thing on the back that says, 'Do you follow Jesus?'" And I said, "Oh, that's my car." And at first I'm like, "Oh gosh, is there something wrong with my car?" And he's like, "I like that. I really like that." I was like, "Well, thank you." So I just figured instead of replacing just the W, because that's what was missing, and the question mark, instead of replacing those two, I would just do it all over so it can just have a clean decal on the car. It won't have some faded looking letters and nice fresh looking letters and whatnot. I just said, let's do the whole thing over. And just so you know, when I took this off, it's on the window, not on the actual car. So taking it off, I used this tool and just kind of just scrape just the edge and then pull the rest off. And I was able to just clean the window off with Windex after it. There was no harsh sticky residue on it whatsoever. I just sprayed it with Windex and wiped it clean, and it was good to go. So we're going to take this. Actually, I'm going to leave this on there until we get outside. So we're going to go outside and put this on my car. Okay, guys. So I'm outside. I have my alcohol, my scraper tool, and my decal. I'm going to start by cleaning off the window. Just spray it a little bit and give it a good wiping. It's pretty good because I had already wiped down the glass anyway. Just want to make sure because I'm outside, things fly around very quickly. All right, I'm going to remove this from the backer and then get this situated where I want it up, and it decided to just take it. So we're going to put it down right there. Okay, scraper tool. Make sure it's all the way down. And this is in the same spot it was before. All right, I think I should be good. Let's see. Yep, it's on there. So hopefully it'll last me another 2 years. We shall see. But I'm glad to have it updated so it doesn't look like I don't know how to spell follow without having a W on there anymore. All right, let's go back to the craft desk. Okay, so I have everything back in the camera except my car. And I am just really happy about how everything turned out. I can now reorganize my car. We have some games for when we're in the car for long periods of time and just when we need to get away from the devices. And my children will no longer be cold in the car or need my hoodie for warmth. And of course, my decal on my back window is now updated. So I'm happy about that. I thank you all for tuning in to today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and you got some inspiration from it. Everything will be linked down below in the description box if you're looking for anything that I had on my craft table today. So please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, or at least consider subscribing. And I'll see you in my next one. Later, guys.